Today we have a unique non-faction faction for your Onslaught games and some more interesting minis for your D&D and Pathfinder games. If you need a primer on the game, check out our review of the core set up there in the eye. The Sellswords here are not a faction in and of themselves, though the characters are rather thematically linked. I'll talk about that more in a sec. These are mercenaries who can be added to any faction in order to further expand your team building capabilities. The only real limitation is that you can only use one Sellsword on a team at a time. In general, they have a pretty high AC and a pretty low HP pool, and they're pretty specialized in what they do. So with thanks to WizKids for sending us the pack to review, let us take a look at the Sellswords Expansion for Onslaught. This video is brought to you by Hit Point Press. Stay tuned for a new free 5e spell to pair with their animated Spellcraft Volume 1 deck. First up, we have Hongaku, the human way of the Kensei monk. Hongaku excels at melee damage with an excellent 2-hit modifier and the ability to strike twice on some turns, and her melee attack ignores all damage reduction. She also gets a higher than normal speed, so she can get right up into people's faces. I do appreciate that even when we get human minis in Onslaught, which we don't usually do, they're doing something a little bit different with them, like pulling from underrepresented non-European cultures. If you need a consistent damage dealer, Hongaku is your ticket. Next up we have Kithra Coldforge, the Dwarf Oathbreaker Paladin ranged attacker. And it is a good thing she attacks from range because she is one of the slowest characters in the game. But she can hurl a hammer with the best of them, and she's otherwise well statted in AC and HP. If someone does get up close, she can really whop them with her Inflict Wounds ability. She can even turn foes against each other. And with Dreadful Aspect, foes don't even have the choice of getting close to her, which is a good thing because when she gets bloodied, she loses some effectiveness. Here is Molly Farhill, the Gnome Knowledge Domain Cleric Tactician. First of all, how is Molly Farhill not a halfling name? But the marketing material says gnome, so a gnome she is. Anyway, she worships the god of wisdom, Ogma, whose symbol is on both of her shield and her clothing here. She brings some unique abilities to the game. She can remove conditions with her Dispel Magic ability, and she can swap enemy initiative cards, which could be clutch in certain circumstances. With Ogma's blessing, she can either boost her defense or her damage output, and she even gets more initiative control with her Knowledge of the Ages level up card. Finally, and you knew I'd save the best for last, we have Drawm, the Tortle Rune Knight Fighter Hybrid. Just behold this mini. I think this may be the best Tortle mini we have. Not that there's a ton of Tortle minis out there. In the game, he'll synergize well with folks who can root or slow enemies, as he'll get free hits on them. He might fit in well with the mini arrows, who do a good bit of rooting, though with the right level up card, he can both root and slow enemies himself. While he doesn't have the highest AC, he can use Hill Rune to reduce incoming damage and Cloud Rune to redirect hits. Here is a full set together. From a mini perspective, this is certainly a solid set of PC minis, though maybe not my favorite in the Onslaught line. I appreciate another Asian-inspired human mini, and the Halfling Cleric and the Tortle Fighter are great as well. The heavily armored female dwarf is fine, she just doesn't feel quite as unique as some of the other minis we've seen in the line. So a solid B+ from this mini lover. If you're playing Onslaught and you like to try new team combos, this set is probably a must-buy for you for how much versatility it gives you. There are still several official D&D races that I want to see represented in Onslaught though. The Centaur, the Eladrin, the Githyanki and the Githzerai, the Kenku, the Lizard Folk, Minotaurs, and the Satyrs come to mind, but really, can we get an entire faction of Gith and their allies? Or Loxodon? Please and thank you. Before we wrap up, I have another brand new spell to add to your collection. Pick yourself up the Animated Spellcraft Deck Volume 1, print out our free spells, and sleeve them together to add some new arcane fun to your games. Let that wizard in your party discover a spell book full of spells they've never seen before in the form of these cards. Today we have Witch's Whammy. Conjure a rounded wooden plank and then swing wildly at the foes around you. You can knock them silly so they'll have a hard time hitting you back this round. Pick up the cards today using our link in the corner of the screen or in the doohickey down below, and then download our collection of free spells to pair with them at gallantgoblin.com/spellcraft. And many thanks to Hit Point Press for their continued support. The Sellswords Expansion Pack is available now for between $35 and $40. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section down below. We are almost caught up with all of our Onslaught reviews. Hopefully you are enjoying them as much as I am. It really makes me miss the premium line of minis though. I really do hope they get back to that soon. And I really dig these smaller packs of minis where there's just a ton of room for creativity. I hope they keep making them. Next up, we'll be reviewing the Mini Arrows #1 expansion, which really does dive deep into those more minor races. So be sure you're subscribed here so you can check that out. And if you'd like to pick yourself up a kobold or some gear for your little kobold, you can adopt one over at HeroPlush.com. And you can follow us on social media at the links over here or in the doohickey down below. But for now, stay safe, have fun, love each other, and I will see you next time at the Gallant Goblin.